Doug Fisher,
What's up?
back at the Santa Monica track.
Check this out, see?
Oh, you got
This is the
Garcia
right-
Boxing.
Well, yeah, I'm repping
You got
Garcia
the throwback
Boxing.
to the Canelo Triple G.
Yeah, so I'm Team Garcia.
Yeah.
Salinas
September
Garcia.
16th, 202017. That was the fight
1
that
year.
Triple G won, right?
Wow.
Yes,
And
yes.
just didn't get the decision.
7 rounds to 5 on my card live. Upon a second viewing, I had it 8 rounds.
On
for
further
Canal-
review,
not
you
for
had
Canal,
8
for
to 4,
Golovkin.
just like
Yeah,
the Triple G
116,
fight,
112. You
And
know.
maybe 9-3.
Well, that's how the Flushing
Coach,
Flash had.
yeah.
Let
Coach,
me tell
how did you score it?
I actually, when I was there,
Coach had a draw.
I
be
had it
honest.
pretty close. But then when I watched it, it was easily 8-4 and maybe 9-3.
Just like Harold Letterman from HBO scored it at
And
8
I'd like
to 4.
to show you my T-shirt also.
That's an official. That's a very hard to find Triple G Jordan hoodie. That the first edition of his merchandise. And then Samir is jumping rope. Samir the samurai in the background there, jumping the rope.
How's it going, everyone? Hope you're all watching the World Cup too.
Yeah. Oh,
That's awesome.
oh, new merchandise
You got the,
with the 360 logo. Wow. Oh, yeah.
Now, is that custom made, or is that is
That-
that out there? Is that available?
that-
Thanks to
it's
Steve
not.
Kim.
It's not available for sale yet. But that's a.
I like that.
That's a great. That negotiation costs a lot of nerves.
Yeah, right.
With,
yeah.
Where's your Garcia poker?
Do you have some gray hairs?
Where's the Garcia poker? Because Steve Kim said he would never want to play poker with Triple G.
That's right. That was a good line.
Triple G was not bluffing. He was going to
Yeah.
fight Billy Joe Saunders in a unification fight in 2 seconds. If
And that would have been in my neighborhood.
if they didn't, that would have been at the Forum, August 20. Everything was booked. The Forum was booked. HBO pay-per-view was booked. Billy Joe Saunders had agreed with Frank Warren to finally make that fight that has been eluding Triple G and the boxing world
For quite some time.
for almost about going on 3 years now.
Yeah, you guys first broached that subject in early 2016.
Yeah.
Late 2015, early 2016.
Yeah, he's
I
wanted
remember
to
that.
unify for so long, and what do we have now? This week, I think we're going to make the official presentation of the Ring Magazine pound for pound belt to Triple G.
That is correct. That is correct.
That's a long time coming, also.
yeah.
What are you going to wear, Doug?
Something nice. I mean, it depends on the weather, right? If it's overcast like that, maybe
It'll be indoors. It's going to be at the Palm State.
Yeah, and that has a real strong air conditioner,
Actually,
so I'm gonna definitely
we
wear a
can't give out the
jacket.
location because that's an invite only. But anyway, you'll be invited, Doug, because you'll be
Okay.
presenting
I have a
on
belt.
behalf of Ring Magazine.
I got
you'll
a
be
belt.
presented.
I've got a pound for
presenting
pound
the belt.
championship belt for Gennady Golovkin, and I've also
That's a
got,
pretty big honor from
at
Ring
my-
Magazine.
At my house, I've got a Fighter of the Year 2017 Ring Magazine Fighter of the Year belt for Vasil Lomachenko.
There you go.
So they got, if somebody knows Vasily, let him know I got that. I can get
You
it
can
to
come
him
down to the
anytime.
Triple G Media Lunch.
Yeah, he's invited.
uh,
Come on.
But
I'll bring both belts
but
just
now,
in case.
since Canelo was stripped according to the rules of his middleweight Ring Magazine title, he can win it back.
Better late than never, right?
Now he can win it back against Triple G if he
Well,
wins
you know what? I
September
gotta
16th.
put that up. You know,
Because
listen, I gotta
he
put
should
that
be
up to the-
reinstated. As soon as he's off suspension in August, he should be reinstated.
We could do that,
to-
but generally speaking, Tom, what we do is you got to fight first, and then you get back in the
You know, if he
rankings.
fights Triple G,
With this, if
it
he
should
fights Triple-
qualify.
I
This should
agree.
This should be one of those special
Tom, I agree with
exceptions
you.
that we would say the
Start
winner
lobbying.
of that.
All right,
the
Tom.
winner of that fight.
Tom,
should
I want
be
you to
the
start.
Ring
I want you to start
Magazine
lobbying.
Makes
You have a right
I'm
to do
starting
this.
right now. I'm lobbying right now.
Start lobbying the panel members.
All right.
Let's see. There's Adam Abramowitz. There's Ryan Songalia. These guys are on Twitter. Anson Wainwright.
That's right.
Marty
You
Mulkey,
got a
who I
great-
know
you
was
got a
watching
great-
World Cup.
You got a great staff right there.
Yes.
World Cup, Mexico.
And
Mexico's
Tom
winning
Gray
right
is
now.
back.
Yeah.
All my
Is
friends.
Mexico beating
all
Germany?
my friends. I had a bet with my friends at the WBC, my friends at
Orale.
Tecate.
Hey, Viva!
I'm gonna
Whoa.
owe a lot of dinners if Germany doesn't win. If Germany
Wow.
doesn't win the World
Wait,
Cup.
would that be considered an upset? If Mexico
They
beats
were a
Germany?
2-1
That would be-
favorite.
yeah, that
Almost
would
the
be-
same
Germany was
odds
2-1?
as Triple
Triple
G
G
is
is 2-1,
favored
right?
over 2-1.
That's fair.
They're almost identical odds as the Triple G is a 2-1 favorite.
Who are you
Because
picking?
odds makers know that pound for pound, Triple G is still number one.
Who are you picking?
There's a lot of arguments for Lomachenko and Terrence Bud Crawford, and I can see that, and I'm not mad at anybody who has those guys number one, but for my money, it's still Triple G, number
So
one.
who
Well,
are you
fighting-
picking in the Canelo Triple G fight?
He won the first fight handily.
Yeah.
And now he's really got some motivation.
So are you saying the judges should have?
Animosity.
Are you saying the
like
judges should have replay monitors, instant replay, so they can like rewatch how many punches Triple G lands?
Like it's NFL.
Listen, I mean, you know what? Yeah, I mean, I think boxing should have instant replay, but I think if you know how to score a fight, you know how to score a fight. I think the world is watching the Nevada Athletic Commission. They have to have the best referee.
It's going to be a microscope on the judges.
They have to have the best referee in the business.
September 15th in Las Vegas,
Nevada. And they have to have
Nevada.
3 of the best judges they can possibly find. No Adelaide break. Nobody with a questionable track record.
What do you
whether
think?
It's the referee or whether it's the judges.
Doug, what do you think about the phenomenon? If Triple G doesn't knock out an opponent, that the opponents just get points.
They get survival points,
they get
right?
Points for not getting knocked out.
I think it's
for
disgusting.
close rounds.
I think it's
What
disgusting.
do you think that's a result of it? Just
I think, Tom, I think something about Triple G, the same thing that makes real fans root for Triple G, makes people in the boxing, some people in the boxing industry, it makes them crazy. And they do things that only hurt themselves.
Triple G brings a lot of new fans into the sport of boxing.
Yeah.
I've had so
I
many
don't know
messages.
listen, he should be beloved all around. He's not a piece of shit.
Did you see?
He's not a fucking diva.
Wait, did
you know what I mean?
Did
He
you
gets
see?
in there and he entertains. He wants to unify. He's the longest rating champion in boxing.
maybe you,
he's got like Hall of Fame
this
numbers. He's
interaction.
approaching the great behind. You know, I think Bernard Hopkins is an all-time great. He's approaching
He can break
that
the record with a win over Canelo Alvarez.
But there's people in the boxing industry that want him to fail or want to get him in the way, or want to get in the way to him creating a great legacy. And I gotta say, the IBF takes a big L.
No. Okay.
IBF takes a big freaking L for stripping him of that title. They only hurt themselves.
The best ambassador for boxing. They stripped their best champion.
They hurt themselves. It's bad business, okay?
The editor of Ring
now
Magazine
that
is saying
IBF has nothing to do with the biggest event of 2018. And if you're Lou DiBella, and who's the manager of Sergey Derevyanchenko?
Keith Connolly.
Keith Connolly.
Mm-hmm.
Did you do right by your client? You had a connection. You had a guaranteed shot at one of the biggest international attractions in boxing. There's not many fighters who are a bigger name than Gennady Golovkin. Okay, Canelo, yeah. Anthony Joshua,
those 3.
and maybe
Triple
Manny
G, Canelo, and
Pacquiao.
Anthony
Maybe
Joshua
Manny
are at the
Pacquiao.
top.
But I mean, listen, no doubt about it. Top 3 or 4 in the world, biggest attractions, biggest names, biggest brand.
And this is the biggest fight of the year.
Gennady Golovkin. So by Golovkin holding on to that IBF belt, you got a guaranteed shot at him.
Yeah.
Why don't you get your fighter active, keep his name in the mix, okay, and then you get a shot at Triple G after Canelo.
Triple G waited
and you're going to
2
make
years.
over $1 million.
2 years for that WBA.
Here's the thing. Listen, there was an article that ran on ringtv.com.
Okay.
It was a
Who
poll.
authored that?
It was by Thomas Hauser.
Okay.
And he gathered up a bunch of former fighters, including Kelly Pavlik and Paulie Malignaggi, and some Hall of Fame matchmakers, including the great Bruce Trampler. And all kind of a bunch of journalists, an esteemed
Bruce
panel.
Trampler, who came to our first Hollywood Fight Night show.
I mean,
by the
how
way.
awesome is that? How
was
often
great.
does Bruce Trampler go to a show that is not affiliated with Top Rank? And they did a poll of the best middleweights. Okay, Triple G was number 1. Canelo was number 2. Okay, I think Derevyanchenko was on the bottom. They had like the top 8 middleweights. Now, do I think that Derevyanchenko is at the bottom of the middleweight rankings? No, personally, I think Derevyanchenko's a badass. I would favor Derevyanchenko over a lot of young middleweight up-and-comers, like a lot of legitimate middleweight contenders. But the reason Derevyanchenko was ranked so low by that esteemed panel is that he's not a factor. They don't know who the hell he is. They're not looking. He does not move the needle. Now, Triple G moves the needle.
That was the challenge.
Whatever Triple G does, people pay attention to it, okay? So you want your guy to fight them. Why fight for a vacant IBF title for chump change when for well over $1 million, you can fight one of the biggest names in the sport, the Ring Magazine, #1 pound for pound, and not only IBF, but WBC and WBA, okay? And maybe if it's after the Canelo fight, maybe the ring title, the ring middleweight championship is on the line. Now what are they going to do? They're going to fight. The IBF wants him to fight his gym mate, Danny Jacobs.
This is from the editor of Ring Magazine.
And Keith Connolly also manages Danny Jacobs, and they also have the same trainer, Andre Rozier,
so
a terrific trainer.
Is going to train both guys to fight each other.
No, Andre Rozier is going to go with Daniel Jacobs. I believe Rozier is Jacobs' godfather. He's practically family, and he's trained Danny Jacobs' entire career, amateur and pro.
Are you saying that's another disservice to Derevyanchenko?
Total disservice. The guy who's been training you for the last few years is going to be in the other guy's corner.
And now he knows how to
and of course Jacobs has sparred with Derevyanchenko. I think Derevyanchenko was one of the sparring partners for Jacobs before he fights Triple G.
To right that wrong, what we can do is whoever wins that title, if they're still the IBF champion at some point next year, Triple G can go get that title back. But our position, the Triple G position, is going to be.
But I wouldn't blame Triple G if he was pissed off at the IBF.
He's not happy.
I wouldn't blame him if he said, you know what, the hell with you guys.
He flew out to New Jersey.
I wouldn't blame him. See, now he doesn't have to fight Derevyanchenko.
That's right. He doesn't have to fight.
If you're Derevyanchenko, the only way you're going to get a shot at a megastar like Golovkin is if he holds that belt that you're the mandatory
for. Whoever wins.
Canelo don't care. Canelo will drop a belt. We know that. That's true. Canelo don't care. You're not Derevyanchenko. You ain't getting Canelo. I'm sorry. You ain't getting you. The only time Derevyanchenko was going to get a shot at a huge name is by being the mandatory for a title that he holds.
Right.
They screwed up by pressuring the IBF to strip Triple G. They should have done some business.
So, Dougie, how do you really feel about it?
Yeah, how do you feel about that?
I just know. Listen, I like Derevyanchenko. I think he deserves the best. Okay, and I think his management dropped the freaking ball. They're not properly representing him.
The ironic thing is that the IBF went way beyond what they were even asking for. They weren't asking. Look, to their credit, Lou and Keith Connolly and they weren't asking to strip Triple G.
Right.
They wanted to fight
They just
Triple
wanted
G.
that shot. They
wanted to have a date certain that the IBF never.
Yeah.
For Triple G and Felix Sturm when he was a mandatory for over 2 years. So I understand you need to have your rules and everything like that, but I think they did do a disservice. But don't be surprised if Triple G goes back at some point and reclaims that title at some point. But I think Billy Joe Saunders, if he beats Canelo in September, I think we'll see a WBO unification fight.
But here's my point, Tom. If you're representing Derevyanchenko, yeah, okay, you might win that vacant IBF title. You might lose.
I think it's
you might not, especially if you're fighting Danny Jacobs.
I think it surprised the Derevyanchenko side too that they stripped Triple G. It surprised everybody.
Well, see, that goes back to my original point.
They weren't asking for that.
Triple G makes people crazy. Yeah. Why strip him? Why be that extreme?
I don't know. For a champion, it's a unified
champion. Right.
Plus, it cost them a lot.
Who, by the way, in his last 2 fights had fought mandatories.
That's right. The two.
Jacobs,
not only mandatories.
The number 1 and number 2.
The two best guys in their division.
Yeah.
He fought. He's the only boxer that fought the 2 best guys in this division.
And gets accused of ducking. And he fights the 2 top fighters in his division, and people accuse him of ducking.
And how about Danny Jacobs broke their rules when he fought Triple G?
That's a good point too. That was. Look, we like Danny Jacobs. He's a great guy, but he definitely didn't do the second day weigh-in. He didn't fight for the IBF title. Now he's fighting for the vacant title. So
anyway,
it's an interesting thing. Are you going to be there September 15th, Coach, up in Las Vegas?
Let's see. I went last time.
Nice.
I'll be there all week.
You're going to be there in Las Vegas September 15th? Yeah. Is that the biggest boxing event of the year?
It's going to be huge. Forget about it. Last year, 1 year ago, it was massive.
This feels so much bigger.
Yes.
This time around,
because
with all the controversy, this feels so much bigger than the first fight. The first fight,
it had to compete with Mayweather-McGregor.
Right, and the Hurricanes.
And that was like a pop culture phenomenon right there. That was insane.
And
Hurricanes closed out huge markets such as Texas,
right, and
Florida.
Yeah,
and maybe Puerto Rico.
And
too.
If you remember the first fight, both guys respect each other as world-class athletes.
Yes.
World-class athletes.
Yeah.
But this time, the gloves are off.
It's a grudge match.
Triple G is pissed off.
That's the story of the
fight.
fight.
He couldn't fight Canelo on May 5.
Yeah.
That's why he drove such a hard bargain. It wasn't even a hard bargain. Look, Canelo is not losing money on this fight, and Golden Boy is not losing money on this fight. They're going to generate over $50 million on this fight because of the combination of Triple G and Canelo. Canelo is going to make probably his biggest payday. He made his biggest payday against Triple G, and he'll probably surpass that payday even with the concession on the split, he's going to make a bigger payday for this time.
I've got a
around.
question. Now, I've heard that for HBO, there's not going to be the face-off.
It's not going to be a
But
face-off.
they are doing it 24/7.
They're going to do 24/7, but neither guy wants to see each other during
Right.
the promotion.
Yeah.
Both
So
guys
how-
are
so
pissed
how-
off at each other.
So how is the
And
promotion going to
the
be?
fans realize that.
So that's the network. But
That's
from
when you know
a
it's
promotional
real.
standpoint,
Triple G is going to do his publicity like he always does. He's
so they're
going
going to do
open-
kind of separate. There's
he's
not
gonna
going to
open
be
his training camp.
another press conference.
No.
Like we already had that press
Everyone
conference
knows
in
this
like
fight is happening.
March.
That's a waste of
September
money and
15th. Everyone
time.
was
Sure.
waiting for this fight to
And
happen
those things are
September
expensive.
15th. But with these guys, you don't need a press conference. It's just at
The
this
controversy
point,
has sold it. The
controversy
scandal
sells, right?
has sold
You know,
it.
you couldn't pay
And
for
and
all-
most importantly, the animosity.
the animosity.
Which is no
These
bullshit.
Guys, these
It's
guys
real.
don't like each other now.
But you couldn't pay for all that publicity.
Publicity. Every time
mean,
there
it's
was
crazy.
something happening with this
Yeah.
promotion, it made the headlines. And then the whole thing with the clock and the countdown for this deadline.
Yeah, right.
It was
Everybody,
literally
boxing world was
nobody
watching.
was bluffing. It was dead for about an hour. Eric and I said, okay. Eric said he's going to go make the Jacobs fight, which I found out that Jacobs deal wasn't done. But we had our deal done. I have to give Billy Joe Saunders. He's gotten a lot of criticism.
Yeah.
I
That
have
was
to
a
give him
surprise.
credit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I have
the
to give
Brits-
Billy Joe Saunders, the
Brits are
WBO
hitting
middleweight
him hard.
champion, undefeated. I have to give him credit because they did accept the deal that they had agreed to the terms, and we were
Yeah.
going to do that fight. That was, look, as a backup plan, 2 undefeated champions
Sure.
fighting each other would have been a great fight.
And
And
what
a
are
di-
the
and a
odds that
difficult
he's going
style.
to go through with it? Saunders.
Oh, he would have gone through that.
this
Fight.
one-
That
Unless
would
he
have
got
been a big
hurt
fight.
going in like every other fight.
Well, then the
That would've
world
been
would
a
be
big
done with him at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah. But hey, here some trivia for you guys.
What's a
Well,
trivia?
not trivia. It's just a question. This is a bona fide grudge match. This rematch,
Yes.
right? So what's the
Not
greatest?
only, I
What's the
think,
greatest grudge match you've ever seen or been a part of?
Is it, maybe Roy Jones and James Toney was pretty high up there.
Yeah. What about
One
you?
of 'em.
That's a good one.
Mine was Joey Barnum.
And that guy, the guy that
he-
he
the guy-
P.T.
managed.
Barnum,
No,
Barnum and Bailey.
Joey Barnum, who was the manager and trainer, who fought his fighter. They got in an argument, and then they had a fight the next week.
Yeah, it was like 10 years after.
Or maybe
Barnum
maybe
retired.
Ali and Frazier that
Oh, that's
third
the-
fight.
that's the great one, yeah.
They really took
Okay.
it to a
That
different
I have
level.
covered. I'm going to say Barrera Morales won. Those guys,
Going too, yeah,
those dudes
that
hated.
was a
Actually, they hated
Mexican-
each other
That was Mexican
throughout
pride.
their great trilogy. And then I'm going to say Oscar De La Hoya versus Fernando Vargas.
Fernando Vargas
Bad
was a
blood.
good one too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are my top 2 that I've covered as media, and those were both. So the first Morales Barrera fight was 2000, and Oscar De La Hoya Vargas was 2002. So it's been a while since we've had like a high profile grudge match.
So now
Shit.
that the World Cup is actually going on, and Mexico, I don't know if they're still winning or not, but Hugh Blow invited Triple G to Moscow for the
Really?
opening ceremonies. He was there for the first game.
Oh, yeah.
They
That's
did
a big
their
deal.
new. Look, just so you
that's
see,
nice.
they did their new Triple G
Oh, yeah, look
Hugh
at that.
Blow.
Look at that.
Hugh Blow edition. This is going to be for sale coming up for this promotion.
That's not going to be cheap.
Beautiful.
That is
That's a
beautiful,
nice
yeah.
one.
That's
That's
a
a
nice
nice to watch. And did you see the video, Doug, where he was on the international?
That's awesome.
He is at a whole different level than
Yeah.
the sport of boxing. I mean,
yeah.
this Triple G Canelo fight is going to transcend not only boxing, but it's going to be one of the biggest sporting events of the year.
There's no doubt about it.
So let me give you my pick for the fight.
What's your prediction, Dave?
I think Triple G's got the whole emotional edge and everything. He came out the winner in this. It's going to help him in every way.
Yeah.
I think Canelo. I think he was juicing for the fight with Chavez, juicing for the last fight. He's not going to have that edge. I think that's going to hurt him psychologically and physically. And I'm calling it 1 minute and 43 seconds of the 8th round.
8th round. You're going 8th round?
Yeah, last time I went 10, and after that fight, I thought Canelo fought a great fight, way better than I thought he would the first time. But there's so many things against him now. This whole thing's got to take a toll on Canelo, emotionally and physically, and it's got to help Triple G in all those ways also. So
One of the things that Triple G, he was a firm believer that the only way Canelo can rehabilitate his image, there's no question he got suspended.
Yeah.
So he tested positive for clenbuterol, whatever people say, however it got in his body. It's not proven one way or the other.
Yeah.
But the only way to rehabilitate, look, he wouldn't have changed his image beating Danny Jacobs, a guy that Triple G just beat last year.
Right.
So Triple G held firm in the negotiations, saying the only way Canelo can get his image back is to fight him. Look, if Canelo beats Triple G September 15th, now he's the best middleweight champion. He's got the world titles.
Yep.
He's going to have probably the Ring Magazine title back.
Yeah.
And that's what Canelo needs to do. Canelo's 27
It's a great
years
story
old.
for Canelo. It's great
Canelo
motivation. You
has
get
a
like
long
total
career.
redemption with one
He's
fight.
27. He's got a long career ahead of him. But, you know.
And I think the fight goes the distance again.
It's,
And I give Canelo the benefit of the doubt
But
with the
Canelo-
contamination claim.
Canelo is.
I think it's very likely.
How did his body change so much?
He's young. He works out, man.
That's a lot of weights he's got to be lifting.
Yeah, no, he was though, but he was lifting weights.
His body changed so
No,
much.
look, but look, there's a
a lot
picture.
of
There's a picture of
controversy.
Canelo flexing with Triple G back when they sparred, and he was like 20, 21 years old at that time. He's a big boy. He's a big boy, and he wasn't doing the weights back
as
then.
big as
no,
he
no,
was
but
in
I'm saying when you're a big boy
Samir,
at
what
20
do you
or 21,
think?
Samir
Samir the
lifts-
Samurai, what's your opinion?
Well, Canelo looks like a box, so he's pretty buff. So that's interesting.
But when you're that big at age 20 or 21, and then you get into your mid 20s, and your metabolism slows
but
down naturally, and then you start lifting
sometimes
weights.
when
you get
fighters
buff. I don't think Marquez was ever VADA tested, or was
Barry,
it?
Barry Bonds changed.
Yeah.
Barry Bonds changed. Didn't Mark McGuire change?
Oh yeah,
McGuire.
definitely. Yeah.
And how about
Lance
how about
Armstrong
and how
pedaled
about
a lot faster.
Flojo?
Flojo.
Yeah.
So but that's the controversy. You can't prove it one way or other.
Yeah.
But the
No,
one way that Canelo can prove it.
I don't have a problem with anyone who thinks that he intentionally was taking some kind of performance enhancer, in addition to clenbuterol. But I give him the benefit of the doubt.
That's
you
what
know.
Canelo. Now
He's been VADA tested. Now he hasn't been year round, but now it's
he's testing
straight through.
Now
right.
he's testing
Yeah.
through. So is Triple G,
Yeah,
and
both
now
guys are.
whoever wins September 15th, now the boxing world can say,
Right.
these guys have been tested. You know, because
And
there's been claims a lot
Quick
of
question:
times.
Triple G hasn't had a pause in his VADA testing.
Well, it was about a
routine.
week, because he tested through the Cinco de Mayo fight,
Right.
and then we re-signed up for
Okay,
VADA,
yeah.
because you have to sign up every time.
Sure.
So we re-signed up for VADA.
But there wasn't a long period between the
It's a week.
re-sign-up.
It's a
Okay.
week, and
So
Triple G's
basically,
not gonna go-
since the start of the year.
He's not going to fly to Mexico and start eating Mexican tacos,
Yes.
beef tacos, and then come back to LA.
Right. Okay. So yeah, I don't know. I think it's age 27. I mean, there's no doubt that this whole ordeal is going to have some kind of psychological effect on Canelo. But I do
Triple
think
G's a year older. People are
It's
saying
true.
Canelo went the distance with
Yeah.
him the first fight, so it's got to
fought a good
improve.
fight.
It's got to boost his confidence.
Right.
Triple G's a year older.
Yeah.
Canelo's going to be fresh,
Yeah.
and so it'll be.
Oh,
it'll
look
be
at
a
this.
Great, it'll be a great
What
match.
were the
Oh,
odds?
JP.
Oh
What
my
were the
God!
JP.
Oh.
The odds were against JP showing up.
Happy Father's Day, everybody.
Hey,
I promise,
Happy
Coach
Father's Day to the new
Dave.
dad.
I promise,
Good.
Coach.
Hey, Leo.
Say hi,
Leo's
Leo.
here too.
Say hi, Leo.
So what's the odds on the Germany-Mexico game now that
Mexico's up.
Mexico is up 1-0?
Yeah, so they went to
Yeah.
about even after that because
It's
Mexico
even.
was the underdog. Yeah.
They were a 2-1 underdog, just like Canelo is against Triple G.
Yeah. So what's the score now? Is it still?
Still
I don't
1-0
know.
last
I think-
time they told me.
We were at a
1-0?
restaurant.
Yeah,
and we were going
in the
crazy because the cooks were all
Oh,
cheering
yeah.
for Mexico.
Leo.
So
Leo,
his hair's getting
how are you?
longer.
So did you bring a Brinks truck here from last night?
Oh, last night was great. Errol.
Yeah, I
Errol
want to know
Spence.
did you bet on all three Showtime fights?
Errol Spence, you bet the UK fights?
Yes,
right?
yes. Lewis Ritson in the UK. You got to look out for this guy.
Oh, I
This
know.
guy, the Sandman that Eddie
Yes.
Hearn has. He's
Yeah.
got about 4 early knockouts in a row, and
Yes.
he's exactly like Errol. He's a body puncher.
Yeah.
Oh, this guy's awesome. Lewis Ritson.
And he's like Errol in that he's there to be hit too.
He's there to be hit. He makes for exciting fights.
Yes,
in
he
fact,
does.
most people thought he should have maybe next time be the main event because Kelly didn't put on a great fight.
Right.
So
Josh Kelly, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
Josh.
He didn't put on a great fight last night.
He's a
And the one
talented
guy
dude,
had
but
a draw.
Ritson is.
The strange name, Arkville, he had a draw, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know about
That
that
was
one.
like the first fight. He was like a 2-1 favorite, and he came out
that's
with
right.
a draw.
Yeah, it was a draw.
Arkville or whatever his
Yeah,
name is.
whatever his name is. Simon,
Yeah.
Simon, yeah.
Yeah.
That one was a draw, and then Eddie's other favorites won. But Errol, man.
Errol looked good, but that was an IBF mandatory, right? And a lot of
Yes.
people were saying
a guy who did not deserve to be ranked number 3 in any sanctioning organization, in any credible rankings. You're talking about a a solid prospect, basically, from Mexico. That's what Ocampo was, a solid prospect.
Not on the same level like Munguia, right?
No.
Not like
no,
Munguia.
not like
Who was
Munguia.
undefeated
No, he
from
wasn't
Tijuana,
prospect of the
Mexico.
year. No. I'm saying this dude, he hadn't fought anybody. The guy had gone 10 rounds with Jorge Paez Jr. That says it all.
Yeah.
I mean, that's, come on. It's,
But Errol had a
IBF
credit.
didn't do Ocampo any favors by ranking
Errol's
him that
selling
high.
a lot of tickets down there in Dallas. He's fighting in his hometown. And,
It's nice when you have a friend like, and it's nice when you have a friend like Jerry Jones.
When you got those mandatories like Dominic Wade,
owner?
you got to take them out if if it's
no. And here's the thing:
mandated.
just like you couldn't criticize Triple G for fighting Dominic Wade, because had he not fought Wade, the IBF would have
been
stripped
stripped
him.
back then.
Back then, exactly.
And he would have been stripped if he didn't do that second day weigh-in.
So I'm not
against Andy Jacobs.
exactly, and so I'm not going to get mad. I'm not going to be upset with Team Spence for fighting Ocampo because it's either that or you're not a champion anymore.
Exactly.
I mean,
and he only has one title.
He only has one title.
You gotta do that.
I wouldn't fight for the IBF again. I would just tell him to jam it.
We'll see how things play out.
No, I would.
Chavez Jr. is coming back. Supposedly he's gonna be back.
Come on, you're
Gilberto
talking
Ramirez.
to calm Lawford here.
No, it's okay.
Not Mount St. Adela.
Benavidez is out there, so there's a lot of big fights out there.
I wouldn't pay him their sanctioning fees.
We don't have the sanctioning fees for the September fight.
They're crazy. They're out of their mind.
You can't stay mad in boxing.
No, it's not.
Right, Tom?
It's not.
It's
mad.
You can't hold the grudge.
I had a lot of
no
great
grudge.
IBF champions. I was working with Shane Mosley when he first won the IBF title.
Yep, at lightweight.
Vladimir Klitschko, I think, made a historic run with the number of IBF
That
title
was the
defenses.
first heavyweight belt he won.
Right. So I have a good relationship with the IBF, and Daryl Peoples, their president, and Cecilia Brecos is an undisputed champion, IBF champion. This one just really surprised all of us that whatever.
You can't afford to hold the grudge.
It's not a grudge. He needs Daryl Peoples needs some help.
Triple G in particular,
I think Triple G makes people crazy.
They didn't.
That's all there is to
Could
it.
have been. So I have one question here.
What's the question?
We're through with the birthdays.
Okay.
Oh.
No,
Isn't
no one wants
Chocolatito's
it, but
birthday
let me
today?
just give you this one, okay? Okay.
Well, by the way, it was Mike Styles' birthday, the one that created all the Triple G merch on Friday.
Oh,
hey,
Friday.
happy birthday,
Mike.
And,
Happy birthday, man.
And Bernie Barmaso,
Hey,
they shared the birthday last
really?
Friday.
Same day, huh?
Same day, yeah.
Okay,
Chicago's finest.
Okay, this is today, 6/17, 1967.
67.
One of Doug's all-time favorites.
That's when he was born, or when he
1967.
turned
Was that a
Born.
fight?
That's when he got born. That's when he was born.
1967.
So who had a birthday?
He had a brother that fought.
Was it one of the Ruelas brothers?
Abel was.
Oh yeah, okay. Terry Norris.
Well, Terry Norris, right? There you go.
Terry Norris is 3 years old. Terry Norris is in his 50s. Holy crap. Terry Norris in his 50s?
He still looks perfect.
What's going on? Oh yeah.
He looks good.
Yeah.
Physical
Physically, he
specimen.
looks
Yeah,
good.
he looks great.
Holy crap.
Okay, I'll give you. Okay, this is June 21st, 2003. You were there, Doug.
June 21st,
And
2003.
So was Tom, I'm sure, or Calm.
Yeah.
Sorry. At the Staples Center.
Okay.
Heavyweight fight.
Okay.
That was Klitschko versus Lennox Lewis.
Right.
One of the best heavyweight fights
Yeah.
that I've ever seen.
Came together late.
6 rounds. Vitaly was winning 4 rounds to 2.
Yep.
The referee called the doctor in to look at the tongue because he bit his tongue,
Yeah.
and the doctor stopped the fight because of the cuts. Even though the cuts didn't get worse, you
Yeah.
can imagine it didn't get worse from
They
like
were some nasty cuts,
the
though.
4th round.
And
on.
who was the doctor?
Probably
The
Paul
one that
Wallace.
stopped it was Paul Wallace.
Paul
Yeah.
Wallace, yeah.
But the doctor that stitched him up, I remember 63 stitches, 3 different layers, was Dr. Perlman Hicks. Plastics, Perlman Hicks, a plastic surgeon. You can't even see which eye was cut. But now that we're talking about fights, upcoming fights,
Yeah.
August 8th, to make it easy on everyone, 8/8 is
Yeah.
the return of your favorite show in LA.
Yeah, it's the best.
Yeah.
Avalon.
Hollywood Fight Nights, Avalon. We had Mario Lopez last time. We had Michael Buffer came last time.
Who was the actor from Ballers?
Omar
Big
Miller
fan.
from
Miller,
Ballers was there.
He was pretty chill.
Yeah.
Cool guy.
Ty Lawson, who's going to be playing for the Clippers now,
You know I don't know
came
who that is.
came from
Cool name.
Washington. He's going to be playing for. He was there, so it was Cynthia Conte was hosting. You were commentating with Steve Kim.
Excellent show.
Vanis was there.
Sergey Bohacek. Jeez.
Yeah.
Bohacuk is
What a
9-0
beast.
now with 9 knockouts.
He's
a guy
improved
to
so
watch.
much.
Murat
in 1 year.
Gassiev was there. There
Yeah.
were a lot of celebrities out
Yeah.
there. Alicia Devalle
Yeah.
from NBC News.
Yeah.
She was there.
She's a big boxing fan.
Big boxing fan.
Yeah.
You know, I gotta say something about Gassiev. I was telling Samir this week. This guy is such a class act. He sits there for every single
cool to
one
watch.
Yeah.
of his
Right.
teammates' fights from
Yeah.
beginning to end.
And everyone listens to him so
No
carefully.
security.
Yeah.
Murat Gassiev's the one guy that doesn't need
He don't need
security.
security. He looks like security.
Takes every picture, talks to every fan, roots for every one of his teammates at
Yeah.
the same level of emotion. I mean, this guy's got it together. What a class act. What a
Young
champ.
guy.
Young guy.
And a unified champion.
Well, what a class act.
Who was the
that
guy
is.
sitting next to him?
Hey, Leo.
He's another
Ali,
Russian.
Ali Akhmetov.
Akhmedov.
Akhmedov.
Yes, Olympian.
From
light
Kazakhstan.
heavyweight.
Yes, he was into it also.
Undefeated,
Yeah.
I believe.
Yeah, he's good.
Undefeated.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Very
he just
young as
started
well.
with Abel.
Yeah, he's training up there. Oh, Ryan Martin.
Yeah.
Oh, he
Got
was
some
there?
big news coming up. He moved up to 140, and we have some big news coming up for Ryan Martin. Superfly 3 is slated for, so we got August 8th, Coach, at the Avalon, September 8th at the Forum, Superfly 3. We're going to make the announcements of the matchups here coming up soon. That's one of the most popular series, if not the most popular series on HBO Boxing.
And it's
The Superfly show.
it's doing a lot for sub featherweight, sub bantamweight fighters worldwide.
And the fans love the action. The fighters know they have to fight, and it's one of the most exciting series exciting shows that we've been involved
Well, it's a
with.
super talented division.
Yeah.
And nobody's afraid to fight anybody at that weight class.
You got so many great champions.
Less drama putting it together.
Yeah.
For sure.
Less drama. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot.
Triple
Well, and
G
the thing
is
is,
more
for
drama.
the-
It's
you
a
know,
big
for those-
drama show.
Right.
This is less drama. That's
Yeah.
1 week before the Triple G.
But the
show.
thing about all the Superfly shows, or the first two anyways, is that it involved like 6 or 7 promoters working together.
That's right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a
right.
lot
I
of
mean,
promotional
it's-
companies come together.
That's right. To put
And
on
it's
the
from
best,
all around the world, too.
best matchups
Yeah.
for the fans.
Yeah, you got like South
we might
Americans.
bring Donnie
and
Nietas
folks
back,
from
who was on
Thailand.
Superfly 2. He moved up to Superfly just right now. So
I think he's going to be fighting for a WBO title.
he's fighting for
coming
the
up.
vacant WBO title.
And that's
correct.
at the super flyweight limit. So
There's a lot of guys.
he's
Arroyo had a
another
good
Superfly.
performance last time.
You know, Nietes,
Estrada.
with Canelo being dropped from the rankings, it made room to add some
That's right.
new blood. And Donnie Nietes is number
Did he
9
make?
pound for
He made
pound.
the top 10.
So is
Oh,
Usyk.
nice.
Usyk's top
And
10.
Usyk,
yeah, he's
nice.
in there.
Usyk's very talented.
Yeah.
Very super.
And you know what?
talented
You
guy.
could easily have Gassiev in that number 10
right.
slot as well. Like to
Gassiev,
me,
yeah.
Usyk and Gassiev are right up there.
Yeah,
You know, that's going to be a hell of a fight.
that's a great fight.
I can't wait for
when
that
those
to
guys
happen.
fight. That's gonna be a great
I
fight.
like
yeah.
Austin.
You like Gassiev? You're on the record for that. That's
No, I've said it before. I like him a lot.
listen. I wouldn't be surprised.
We're gonna have news for Cecilia Breckus, your favorite female boxer.
Yeah.
Probably
Speaking of
tomorrow.
ring
We'll
titles,
have
yeah,
we'll
we gotta
have
get
we'll
one
be
for her.
announcing her next fight.
Yeah.
So we got a lot of great things.
Where's
planned.
that going to be?
Brian Sabayo is going to come back. He's going to fight either on the Hollywood Fight Nights or on the Superfly show.
Wow. You know what? I was so
Ceballos
impressed by him.
is-
Yeah, he's
he-
good.
he's-
That's the best I've
you
seen
can
him.
see him
Was that his-
maturing.
was that his
was
third
his
pro
third
bout?
fight? Yes, this will be his fourth fight
That's-
coming up.
I see it. I see what
See
everybody
the-
was
the
excited
transition,
about
yeah.
with him as an
Right.
amateur and doing the what is it called? The World Boxing. The World Series of Boxing. He had some fights in that sort of semi-pro league, yeah. But no, he put it all together. He's a very athletic, fluid boxer puncher.
Yeah.
But he's really a boxer. He's really
He's
a boxer.
More of a boxer, but he's starting to come into his own on the professional level right
Yeah,
now.
but he mixes his punches really well, and he's fast.
Good combinations.
Good combinations, and he lets his hands go.
Yeah.
So can I give you another question?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. I should be jumping rope.
June 20th, 1980,
June 20, 1980,
Montreal.
Montreal. Oh, that's got to be the first fight between Sugar Ray Leonard and Roberto Duran. And it was his birthday recently.
right.
The great Roberto Duran.
Then I give you another.
Wow.
one.
And Duran's probably 67.
He's right. Yeah, that sounds about
You know
right.
because he turned pro at like age 16.
And
that was
speaking of
1967.
Duran, on June 16th, 1983,
Yeah, that was on his birthday.
he won with KO8.
Yeah.
The first sellout at Madison Square Garden in
Years.
15 years.
Oh, that long?
Yeah.
Wow, that
And
was when he beat Davey
Triple G
Moore.
sold out Madison
Yeah.
Square Garden twice. So he
That's not bad.
against Lemieux
Yeah.
and against
then
Danny
against
Jacobs.
Danny Jacobs.
So that was a Davey Moore in the '83.
Yeah, Roberto Duran,
I
Davey Moore.
went.
Duran's 32nd birthday, and in 1983, being 32 was old.
Yeah.
Well, especially when you had as many fights as Duran had. You know, he had like 80 fights or so.
So JP, the segment that everyone looks forward to. What are your upcoming picks? What kind of fights are coming up?
What do we
in
have?
the
Let's
future?
see favorites, but if you went both with the KO, you won.
And
So
you
that's-
bet the under, right?
I bet the under. I talked to Tom about it. I said 9.5. I thought they should have been setting it at 7.5.
Yes.
The first
Or
round
maybe a
knockout
first
by
round
Errol
knockout.
Spence.
Maybe at 3.5.
Yeah,
Yeah,
3.5. So I talked to Coach yesterday, and Coach Dave, what did I tell you? I said, oh, thanks, Tom. Thanks, Tom. You are so fast, Leonardo. I said, for the job I'm on right now, we're getting very busy, and I had to give my holiday notice 6 months in advance because the movie comes out in December. So they asked, what are the days you can't work? I said, my anniversary and September 15th. So we got it cleared. We got it cleared this time.
So how are you betting on
Well, they adjusted it a little bit. I mean, basically, you know, what's interesting is it's very rare that a rematch. It's very rare that a rematch is exactly the same odds. Usually a rematch has a big upset and the odds change, but there was a draw with Triple G and Canelo, and actually Gennady is about the same favorite he was in the first
Almost
fight,
identical,
which
that's
is
right.
unheard of for it to be identical. The only adjustment that's been made is there were a lot of 9.5s the first time. Now they're going 11.5,
Right.
shaded to
It is
the over.
Yeah.
So they do.
And
they
isn't
are
the sports betting legalized now?
It's
And
legalized.
they said Atlantic City.
Atlantic
is,
City, Delaware.
Delaware.
And
yeah.
by September, maybe a few other places. I don't
Okay.
think California will get it up and going by then. But Delaware's up and going. New Jersey will be up and going.
Do you expect those odds to drop as the fight gets closer?
I think people will take Canelo. I mean, it's hard to imagine Triple G staying about a 180, 190 favorite. That's pretty high, you know. But the thing is that I waited to the last minute last time, got the absolute best number on Triple G, and it didn't pay off.
What was the best number?
I got minus 140 on him.
Oh, 140? All
Right
the way down
before
to
the fight,
140?
it went to 140.
That must have,
Actually, I got to think back to that date. So last September, I flew in. I got that Friday morning, right after the weigh-in.
Okay.
And then the next morning, the day of the fight, it was just all Triple G money. So Triple G by fight time was about minus 200.
Leo's trying to figure out how to get through the game.
That's great that he's that's great.
So how did you feel about the
Can't reach that high
decision?
yet. Leo,
The first time?
Yeah.
I'm still angry about it a year later. Gennady won the fight.
because
8-4.
of which judges?
Oh, God.
We don't have to call it.
Yeah, wait.
but
But you know, she
Mr.
worked
Trella.
like a week later.
she did, yeah.
Yeah, she worked David Benavidez a week later. So now you threw your water in there. How are you going to know which one's yours, silly boy? So this week, what do we got? I don't
What's
have my
coming up?
I don't have my
what
phone
is
with
it,
me.
June, what, 26th?
The 26th.
Stole my water.
Yeah, that's Doug's water.
Slam dunk.
Oh,
there you
he's
go.
No, not the 26th. It's
Very good, Leo.
today is the 16th. No, the 23rd.
Yeah.
June 23rd.
Let's see. Spence was the 16th. I know on the 20th. Oh, we got Josh Taylor versus Victor Postal. A good fight. So Josh Taylor is being built brilliantly. You know, I give Hearn a lot of credit because he's the best at building his guys. But Josh Taylor with Cyclone Promotions, they moved him beautifully. Miguel
Barry
Vasquez.
Wiggins' operation.
Yeah, exactly. McGuigan, Miguel Vasquez, and now Postal, which is a good step up. But I think he's going to win the fight. I think Josh Taylor's is going to win the fight.
He's a stud.
So he is.
Isn't Joshua coming up again pretty soon?
I think
Some
so.
point?
I think so. We got.
My prediction is the Joshua Wilder fight is not happening in 2018.
There you go. You heard it. You
Next
heard it.
year, 2000. They're going to let that marinate some more.
Okay.
Both guys want to make some more money before.
But I like
taking
that.
But
do-
doesn't Joshua have kind of a dangerous
He's going to
mandatory
fight
against
Povetkin.
Povetkin?
He's got to fight for that's dangerous.
dangerous.
Yeah.
Alexander Povetkin can fight, although
No joke.
some people say he might not be the same recently. So that goes back to
Yes.
your
Yeah.
thing. But
And
no,
you
that
know
was,
what? No, here's the thing. No one
that
cares.
was a big fight. With Klitschko and Povetkin in Moscow was a big fight.
So I keep hearing that Vladimir is thinking of fighting again. Oh,
Look,
no.
I saw.
Oh,
I was at the
no.
Hall of Fame
staying
with
in
Vitaly
shape, isn't
Klitschko.
Yeah.
I think so many heavyweights were relieved when Vladimir retired that they wouldn't fight him. You know, whether it's Wilder or whoever it was,
Oh, yeah.
there's so many heavyweights that Vladimir Klitschko could beat to this day.
I think Vitaly could beat.
And Vitaly could come back. I think Vitaly wanted to come back and fight Anthony Joshua,
Yeah.
like he has in the past. For
You know, I said this a few weeks ago on the Periscope, but one of the greatest comebacks in history, Vitaly Klitschko
Klitschko
was
against Sam Peter.
even money, and by the
Out
second
of the
round,
ring for 4 years.
4 years.
So what about these fighters that say, I haven't fought for a year, I got ring rust, I need 2 or 3 fights? And Vitaly Klitschko, after 4 years, came back, got his title back
in a pick'em fight.
And dominated us.
Dominated the fight. Dominated the fight. Probably live wagering after 4 rounds, he would have been 20-1.
Vitaly takes care of himself too. I bet there's a lot of guys he can beat as well.
So what do you think about Canelo's ring?
He was training for May 5. I think at 27 years old, there's no ring rust. But look, you know, that's going to be a great fight. The two best middleweights fighting against each other is going to be a
I
great
do think
fight.
it's a plus for Golovkin that he fought on May 5.
Huge.
I think
That
that's good.
was probably the most difficult promotion we've ever done on 2.5 weeks' notice. Breaking the record for ticket sales at the StubHub Center. We broke the merchandise record. We set the highest rating on HBO on any premium cable channel for the last 2 years, and that was only with 2.5 weeks promotion. And everyone was criticizing. Vanes had never been stopped. He only lost to the best guys. He had a draw with Lara.
Yeah.
He lost
He
to
was
a decision.
competitive. He was
decision
competitive
to
with
Charlo.
Lara and with Jermell Charlo.
And Triple G did
And
what he needed to do.
Demetrius Andrade.
Did what and against Andrade, yeah.
You know.
And now Vanes is a huge star off that.
Vanes increased his profile.
Yeah.
Look, there's a lot of guys I think that Vanes can beat, especially at 154.
Yeah.
He took that fight on short notice, but he had been training. He was training. He was the favorite to fight to beat Zaleski, the guy that fought Danny Jacobs. That was the fight
Yeah.
that they had signed for, and then Zaleski took the opportunity.
There are still
So did you
posters around the 405, on the 405 exits for Vanes Golovkin
Yeah.
fight. Yeah, still
Nice.
see them.
So did you get options on Vanes?
No, that was just.
I like him a lot.
Yeah, Vanes is a good guy.
He's like
Vanes is a good guy.
He's a
and,
good fighter, too.
And he's a good fighter.
He's really good.
And he promoted the show. He said Triple G is the hardest he's ever been hit. And at the post-fight press conference, remember?
Yeah.
He said now he knows why Canelo was eating those tacos to fight Triple G.
super tough.
That might have been the line of the
Yeah.
promotion. And Cecilia Breckus, we set history on HBO with that fight. First female boxing match on HBO in a 45-year
Do you think they'll do a
history.
rematch?
It's a good fight too.
Do you
Sorry?
think Cecilia will rematch her? What do you think's next for
I
Cecilia?
don't know. No, we're going to make an announcement probably tomorrow for
Can't
her
wait.
next fight coming
Can't
up.
wait.
Okay,
Yeah, that was a
Doug,
great
I
fight.
have another question here.
All right.
And Tom.
Okay. All right, Dave.
Okay. June 18th, 1941. Famous fight. KO 13.
A little bit before our time.
No, you know it.
Okay, sorry. What's
KO 13?
1941.
1941.
Yeah.
Okay, it was for the heavyweight
Is that
title.
around the Max Baer times?
No.
No, this is Joe Lewis.
Yeah.
Joe
Lewis's
Lewis.
reign.
That was around
13
Lewis.
rounds?
So the guy.
Somebody took him 13 rounds.
The guy was ahead after 12.
Oh, this is Billy Conn.
Yeah.
Yeah, Billy Conn
Billy
took
Conn.
him. Yeah, with finesse.
And then what happened in the rematch?
I think Joe Lewis got him in 8.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was after World War
Yeah.
II.
What year was
Yeah.
that?
This is probably 1946.
It was.
Best
know
thing
the-
you ever did
you know-
post that game.
You know the date?
That's awesome.
No, I don't know. I just know
June
the year.
19th.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, summer
here's
fight.
Now
another one.
this is his play area now.
I give you this one, okay? This is June 19th, 1936. Famous
That was going way
knockout.
back, man.
Famous
Was that
knockout.
Schmeling
Famous
and
knockout?
Joe Lewis?
Yep.
Yeah.
1936.
What round?
That's right. Oh, what round? Knockout?
12. Round 12.
12th round?
Schmeling.
Yeah.
And Schmeling had him down in round 4.
Yeah.
Well, that was the first fight. when
Huge
Schmeling won.
upset,
yeah. That was
And
the
then
first
Joe
fight.
Lewis came back and won the
That was
rematch,
like in
right?
38,
Yeah.
maybe. 1938 or
So, Coach, I got a question for you because there's a lot of World Cup wagering. There's going to be a lot of great boxing coming up. There's UFC coming up. Who are you taking tonight? Nia Jax or Ronda Rousey at the Money in the Bank? That's what I want to know. You can bet
Oh,
on
that's
it.
WWE.
so. You can bet
Oh, I'm
WWE.
gonna- I'm gonna make it.
WWE.
Ronda's a 4-1 favorite. You can bet it. So find out who
Really?
you
That's
can
so
bet.
weird.
You can bet it. There's limits. but you
We're
can bet it.
gonna have to support Ronda Rousey in that. But speaking of UFC,
Yeah.
Triple G is
Yeah.
gonna go to the big July 7th,
I was wondering
which
about
is
that.
actually my birthday, Coach.
Cormier.
The big Cormier Miocic fight,
He's gonna be
heavyweight
there.
championship. He's gonna, for all the fans in Las Vegas that didn't get to see him fight because of Canelo's suspension, Not because of Triple G, because of Canelo's suspension. Everyone is mad at me because he didn't go to Las Vegas.
right.
Don't blame me. Blame Canelo.
Now is
The
that
hashtag
is that
blame
at
Canelo
T-Mobile?
that he didn't fight in Las Vegas on May 5. That's going to be
T-Mobile.
the T-Mobile Arena.
Okay.
Triple G is going to be there for Daniel Cormier and
Will that be the
Miocic.
first UFC fight he's ever attended?
No, he's
He's
been
been to 'em. He's a
to
fan.
other ones. He's supported Ronda Rousey. He's been
that's great.
we went to the Anaheim show when Ronda Rousey
Oh,
was
that's
there.
right, the big Anaheim show when
Yeah.
she was hot and sold the whole
Yeah,
place out.
yeah, she was their biggest star at
So
that point.
JP and I went to watch Ronda Rousey train when no one knew who she was.
Up in
Santa
Glendale,
Monica.
right?
No,
We saw her in Glendale, but
West
also
LA.
she very
West LA.
started at Dynamics, Bundy
okay.
in Santa Monica.
All right.
And she was
At,
knocking the crap out of guys.
Antonio Hardonk's gym. That Overeem used to go there too, and she was great. That was before Strikeforce.
She took the UFC to a different level. She
Yeah,
was
they're
their
going to put her
biggest
in the
star.
Hall of Fame that weekend.
Put her in all the movies. You know, it was Ronda, and now she's a star in the WWE.
She's a big star. I'm thinking they're going to make her win tonight because they're paying her a lot of money. So
No, she's winning for sure.
he's running off with somebody's keys. I don't know.
That's the
That's probably yours,
those are
Dave.
Dave's.
Okay, he's got him.
As long as he doesn't put them in the trash can.
So we've got Clarissa Shields Friday night. I got to say something about Clarissa's fight. I know it's tough to find opponents in female
Against,
boxing.
Hannah Gabriel.
Yeah, and you've done a great job putting Cecilia in very competitive fights.
That was a
Reese
tough fight.
It was a great fight. But I got
The
to.
girl was coming down 2
She's
divisions.
excellent. I got to say something about Clarissa's fight. Hannah Gabriel's was knocked out at 47. I just can't imagine this fight at 160 pounds. I know the whole deal is to get Clarissa championship belts at 68. She's dropping to 60, and then they want her to drop to 54. I'm interested to see Clarissa drop in weight, but Hannah Gabriel's is very small. This is. I
She
don't
was
know.
147 coming to 160.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I don't know.
What are the odds on that fight?
50 to 1.
50 to 1?
Yeah.
So what do you do?
Wow.
Well, I think you got to see if there's a round problem. I mean, I think Clarissa's going to knock her out. I think. I mean, I
You would think
respect
so.
Hannah
Clarissa's-
Gabriel's, but she's
Clarissa's
too
pretty
small.
dominant, yeah.
You know, Hannah Gabriel's is very, very small.
That's the thing. We had 2 female fights on the Hollywood fight nights.
I love that little Australian girl. She's got a lot of spunk.
That's Bang Bang
Yeah,
Lulu.
bang, bang.
She is
yeah,
Lulu.
Louisa Houghton from
She is
Australia.
fantastic.
She's managed by Elvis Grant, and she's got a big career in front of her.
She is a beautiful girl. She's got a lot of
You
personality.
know what's going to be a great matchup? Bang Bang Lulu against Sanisa Estrada.
105,
They're in the
108,
same
105.
Oh, is that the
division,
one
I
who
think
was
108.
smiling on the
Sanisa's
Superfly, like,
with Golden Boy. Now
She's
Sanisa
with
fought
Golden
on a
Boy.
lot of our shows.
So I've seen her
Sanisa
fight at
has a
Velasco.
big following. Yeah,
Yeah.
she's got a big following. At some point down the road, that could be a great
Is
matchup.
Esparza too big for them, or is that a possibility down the road?
That I don't know, but those girls are in the same.
I like
same
that
division.
fight a lot.
That's a good fight.
That's a good fight. Yeah.
Build that maybe a year down the road, and they can fight. At StubHub. At
That
the
would be
Forum.
fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now Lulu, she was coming back. She got upset on a card.
Because she was out for a while.
Uh-huh.
She had beaten she had beaten the Japanese champion
Right.
in Japan.
Wow.
And she won
Okay.
the world title, and then she was out for a little while, and then she came back. She lost that by decision, but then she came back, was very impressive in their second fight back. And
Do you think she could rematch the girl for the title possibly as well?
I
or
think
is
so.
that-
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so. That would be a good
Because she's
fight.
an exciting fighter to watch.
That's a good fight. Yeah.
Yeah, she's exciting to watch.
Yep.
Okay, you ready for another question, Dougie?
Always.
Deal.
Okay.
You're a speed demon, Leonardo.
Okay, this fight was
perfect
June
weather.
16th, 1949. A famous American fighter KO'd a famous French fighter.
Oh, I know. Stop right there. Middleweight
1949?
championship.
Yeah.
That's Jake LaMotta stopping Marcel Cerdan.
In what round?
I think it was after 9, so it may have gone into the books as a TKO in 10,
Yeah.
but it was after 9. He stopped. He had a shoulder injury, so he was
that-
standing still. Hey, that fight was immortalized in the Raging
Yeah.
Bull movie.
And what was his mother's maiden name?
I know. I tell you this,
That's-
Cerdan. They had a
Dave's
rematch,
favorite
and it
question.
never happened because
Yeah.
Cerdan died in a plane crash.
Yeah, right.
Oh, that's
Coming
right.
back over here.
Yeah, and he was a great fighter.
Hey,
Keep
Doug,
going.
there's another one I want to ask
Had
you
a
about for this
great
week
record.
because I know they said Clarissa's fighting Friday night, and I think the big fight Saturday is Victor Postal versus Josh Taylor,
Me
which will be
too.
in the afternoon. But there is a card that Golden Boy, they're putting a lot of media behind this kid.
Oh yeah,
Talk to me
Virgil
about
Ortiz,
Virgil Ortiz.
Jr.
Talk to me
yeah.
about Virgil
Oh,
Ortiz.
Virgil Ortiz.
He's good. He's really
This is a
good.
big move. You know, Ortiz is switching trainers. He's
Okay.
going from Joel Diaz to Roberto Diaz.
Ah.
I mean, Roberto
Diaz.
Garcia.
Robert Garcia.
Yeah, Robert Garcia.
Okay.
So this is the first camp he's had with them, and he's 9-0. So this is his 10th pro fight, and he's fighting Juan Carlos Salgado.
And he's the main
the former junior lightweight champ
with a lot of
knocked
experience.
out live experience, but he knocked out Jorge Linares
knocked out
one round
Linares
in Japan, like I don't know, 6 or 7 years ago. It's been a while.
So
That's Linares' first loss, right?
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
And it was a huge
Salgado's on
shock.
the slide a
big
little
shock.
bit, but this is a
Yeah,
good step
but
up.
Salgado's been in there with really good fighters like Argenis Mendez.
Great fighters.
I mean, he's gone quality rounds with quality fighters. He's
I
good.
think he fought Uchiyama. He's fought a lot
He
of
did.
guys.
Uchiyama beat him, but it was a real competitive fight, and Uchiyama stopped him late.
So
and
they
then
believe
Uchiyama
in-
had that long reign.
I've been
at
seeing a lot of
130.
publicity about Virgil Ortiz. They're putting a lot of media behind him.
It's a lot. I
So-
mean, it's the right weight class because Ortiz is a big junior welterweight.
Okay.
And so Salgado's coming up in weight, but
Are you doing that fight?
Salgado's not. No, that's ESPN. It's at the Velasco Theater,
Is it
but it's an
ESPN
ESPN.
Plus or? I
No,
think
it's just it's on ESPN 2
Okay, so
and
everybody can watch
ESPN
this.
Deportes.
You can watch Virgil Ortiz, a good up-and-coming fighter,
Yeah.
step up 9-0.
I can't wait.
Saturday night on ESPN. This
It's a
guy
good
can
show.
punch.
And in the co-feature, Hector Tanahara is fighting this once beaten Venezuelan fighter, last name Gutierrez.
Okay.
He got shocked by a really good gatekeeper named Rene Alvarado.
Yeah.
That was his first loss, but he's won like 4 or 5 in
Renee
a row.
Alvarado was the guy that beat Dennis Shafakov.
In a great fight.
Alvarado, yeah, that was a close
Tough.
fight.
That
That
was
could have
a
gone
close
either
fight.
way, but
I thought Shafakov won, but
yeah,
it was a close
but
fight.
Alvarado is a
I got to
really
give Golden
fighter.
Boy a little credit because I'm always crapping on Golden Boy because of Canelo in September, but I do want to give him credit. They put on a really good fight between
Edgar
Manny
Valerio
Robles
and Manny Robles the third.
They put 2 prospects in against each other, which is great, So that was a really, really good fight. And there was a great 7th round where both guys hurt each other, and Robles ended up knocking him out in the 9th round.
Yeah.
So I give them credit. They put in 2 prospects, and now they got a really good fighter coming out of it in Robles.
Yes.
So that was awesome. It's nice when because a lot of those
And
Thursday
Valerio's
cards-
young enough; he can come back.
Yeah.
Thing about Valerio, he needs a world-class trainer.
Yeah.
And he probably needs to go up in weight. And I've been wondering for a couple years now how he makes
He's
126.
too tight at the weight.
Yeah,
He's too tight at the
you
weight.
can tell, can't you?
And
We
to be
gotta
honest,
start wrapping up the show. I gotta
All
get
right.
back to the World,
World Cup.
See
That's
about
true.
my bets on
what do we got
Germany.
today?
Mexico's
What do we
still
got
winning.
today? Are they?
Mexico's still winning?
You got a score
I'm
update?
gonna have to buy a lot of
1-0
dinners.
still.
Let me give you one more question. Tom might be able to get this.
All right.
This
Okay,
guy's
last
from,
question.
this happened in Germany. And Magdeburg.
Magdeburg? Yeah, okay.
Okay. 2003, June 14th. This guy retained his WBA and IBF super middleweight titles. He retired. I don't know. He was undefeated.
Is that
Sven
Henry
Otke.
Vasca?
Yeah.
No,
Oh, Sven
Otke.
Otke. Sven Otke,
Sven-
okay.
So who was his last fight?
Henry Masker
This was his
was
last
right
fight?
No, this is
That's
his.
right.
I'm not sure.
This was
I think
2000?
this was his last fight. Yeah.
What was the result of it?
Oh,
That guy always went the distance. Yeah,
What is-
okay.
Otke was a
And
pure
he-
boxer, yeah.
Yeah,
that one's
yeah,
done.
he got a lot of
And
gift
he fought
decisions, too.
everybody.
He did, but he
Everyone.
never fought outside of Germany.
This
I
one's
did
yours.
not like watching that dude fight.
This one's yours.
God, who was this? Who
Just
was
like
that?
Mr. Shevsky never fought outside of Germany.
No, unfortunately. Yeah.
That would have been a great fight. Him and Roy Jones would have been
Yeah.
a great fight. And
Absolutely.
they never made
Especially
it.
if it would have happened in like
That's
97
why
or
it was
98.
good to make the Triple G Canelo fight.
You gotta
Because
make these fights, man.
it's the fight that fans want to see.
Okay, I'm going to give you this one old-time fight.
Wait,
Shoot.
first tell us who Otke fought. I can't think of the.
Davis Story.
Oh yeah, he was like I think he was an Australian
And
dude.
he fought a lot of guys.
Yeah,
And
Story's
he had a
a
good record, too.
He did.
He had a real good record.
Solid guy, solid fighter.
So how about this? Okay, this was June 14th, 1934. Famous fight.
Way back.
Heavyweights. Guy got knocked down 11 times.
Oh, okay. This is Max Baer winning the heavyweight title against Primo Carnera.
Primo Carnera. That's
Yeah.
right.
The harder they fall.
Yeah, based on his story.
Yeah.
Written by the late great Bud Schulberg,
Yeah.
right?
And what?
Who I used to see ringside.
Yeah. And what round was that?
The 11th round. 11 knockdowns in 11 rounds. How was that? Yeah.
Thanks, Tom.
Hey, that fight would have been stopped these days. Can you imagine that? A dude get in a fight, in one fight, a dude getting
Yeah.
dropped. Back in the day,
11
man.
times.
If you get up
Yeah.
and you're like,
Yeah.
want to continue? Yeah, okay.
Was that Billy Collins got knocked down 7 times in one round? You know about that? In Boston? Against Ike Williams, maybe? Or
In one round? That's got to be a
7
record, right?
7 times, I think.
That's crazy. That's some hometown.
All right,
Before we wrap up, I got to give a shout out to Steve Kim because K9 Kim told me that fight with Spence wouldn't go 4 or 5 rounds, and you were right, Steve. You were right. It was an easy bet.
Steve Kim gets it right every now and then.
Every now and then.
Although he did say Triple G won against the Canelo fight.
And he was right.
Okay, well, thanks to Steve Kim for this
Great,
also.
yeah, great nickname. That's one of Kim's best.
Oh, that is classic.
Oh, sorry, you didn't see that before.
I missed that. That is sensational.
So we'll wrap up. We're gonna see everyone August 8th, Hollywood Fight Nights.
Oh, I missed the announcement.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's the next
August
show.
8th.
8/8.
What, Tuesday,
Hollywood Fight
Wednesday?
Nights, that's a Wednesday night. We moved it to Wednesday nights
I love it.
I love Wednesday night.
I
Yeah,
love it.
better than Tuesdays.
at the Avalon Theater in Hollywood.
Beautiful.
September 8th. You missed that announcement too. Superfly 3
I
at
missed
the
it.
at the
What?
Forum on
What? My
HBO.
mind is blown right now. I missed everything.
And you heard about September 15th, right?
Yes.
Triple G against Canelo.
September 8th in LA?
September 8th at the Forum
The
in LA.
caravan Barbosa wanted is going to happen.
That's right. We're gonna
Barbosa.
We're gonna do a lot of tailgating with Mr. Boxing Guru.
LA,
And,
Mr. Boxing
great.
Guru, Barbosa Box.
Yeah.
Julius, hopefully you can get to LA. Paolo from Colombia, get to LA. LA to Vegas.
We're gonna do the caravan.
September 8th to the
right.
15th. Let's go.
Tuesday,
Triple G.
Tuesday will be the grand arrivals for
go.
both fighters in Vegas.
Okay.
So we can go
I'm excited
from
now.
LA to Vegas, drive up
Is
either
Sorungasai the headliner?
Sunday, Monday. No. So Rungasai is going to take a fight in Thailand,
Ah.
and so then he's going to come back next year and potentially fight next year.
Okay.
Early.
He's
That
earned
is-
a breather.
Absolutely.
I think Sorungasai has earned a
Sis
breather.
Riquette fighting Chocolatito twice, fighting Estrada. It's
Tom just made my morning. I wasn't here for this announcement. That's incredible. That is
And
incredible.
then Ryan Martin's fighting too.
When is Ryan?
We're going to do an announcement
Announcement.
coming up for
It's
Ryan
going to
Martin.
be on the
Yeah.
new super fight.
August 8th, September 8th, September 15th. Wow, this is incredible.
That's a great fall, right?
360, the gift that keeps on giving.
There you
That's incredible. It's
All
that's
right.
so great.
We'll see you guys at the fights. Thanks for tuning in. Doug?
Drive safely, everybody.
Oh, that's right.
Drive like you just won the lottery.
Just let everyone in
And
front of
forget your phone. Leave your phone at home.
No
That's what I
texting,
did this
no
morning.
texting and driving.
right.
Yeah,
So you
do
know,
have your
no
phone at home.
texting. Yeah, so you
That's
know
right.
when I'm saying no texting or tweeting while I drove over here, you can believe me.
All right.
you. So we can
See
today.
ya. Bye.